Hey everyone, Regal Reviews here. It is White Rice Wednesday, which means time for my Survivor recap. So to recap, Adam wants the old schoolers gone, and it seems like it's pretty easy because there's only three old schoolers that are in a really tight alliance on the blue team. So it's just a matter of which one do they want, and it seems like Parvati is the one to go. So he pitches to Denise and tells what I think is a bold move. Like, I respect the fact that Adam wants to make big moves, but at the same time, why in the world would you tell Ethan? He told both Ethan and he later told Rob that he wants to get out Parvati. Those are her two main alliance members. Like, why in the world would you tell them that? On the Red Tribe, Sandra mentions how after this season she's retiring. And yeah, she's been on, this is her fifth season now, so yeah, maybe it is time to hold down the torch, but at the same time, it is, nice to see old schoolers play. Tyson then mentions how he wants to get rid of Sandra because Sandra's known for basically being a pot stirrer and throwing out people's names. What was interesting about the episode is when Sandra tried to prove her worth and made this net, they actually catch a baby shark. And of course, Tony's the one that catches the shark and runs to the beach with it. I'm like, I love the fact that we're getting so much Tony content. Like, it's amazing. On the edge of extinction, since there's no food there, they all decide to go spearfishing. But then they see then they get some tree mail, and they have to go to this tree that I guess Natalie and Amber have been to before, and you have to solve this puzzle. And there's just numbers. There's nowhere, like, what's exactly the combination, and what exactly do they unlock? So Amber decides to go back down to the island and remembers that there's numbers on this box. So she's trying to. I think it was smart of Amber to grab a pen and paper and write down the numbers, but it ended up being wrong. And Natalie remembered that the shells on a necklace were each strand a certain way, so that was actually the combination. And so Danny and Amber couldn't go back and figure it out. She destroyed both the necklaces, so Natalie ended up pulling an advantage for somebody to buy in exchange to give her a fire token, and it was a steal vote advantage. And Natalie said she wants to make sure she gives it to the right person. All I keep thinking is, oh, it's probably Jeremy. But lo and behold, she gives it to Sarah. And now thinking about it, I can see why she gave it to Sarah, because Sarah does know how to use the steel vote. We saw during her season on Game Changers, she was able to use that to her advantage. So on red, Sarah is happy to get the advantage. I wasn't sure first if she was going to take the advantage, but she does. But the trick is, it's on the other. Not only is it on the other tribe's island, but it's in one of their torches. And this is very familiar to last season when Vince had to sneak over to the other tribe's camp and get some ashes. So I'm seeing some parallels there. And a bold move that Sarah made is to enlist the help of Tony. So Cops R Us is full back in action. And I say bold because you really can't trust anybody in this game. So the fact that she trusts Tony enough to help her, and Tony tried his best to help her, but point is he helped her. And Sarah was able to get the steal vote. So I'm not sure if she'll have that to the final six, or how long she can use that for, but she has it. So the immunity challenge was freaking intense. They had to leap on this ramp. So there was like square here, square here. They had to like run in. Oh my god, it looked so. And that was probably one of the hardest ones I've seen in a while. Like, I know I couldn't have done it. And they had to dig up a ladder. Again, if the ladders. Tony should be a professional at this by now. And they had to untangle a rope. Then they had to throw the rope to get everybody up, and then they had to solve a tree puzzle. And Red had an early lead, but then it ended up being neck and neck, and ended up Red winning immunity again. So when they get back to camp at Blue, there's a standoff because nobody wants to make the first move because they don't want to put a target on their back. So Jeremy decides to make the first move, and Ben follows him. And I mentioned this before, how Adam went to Rob. I'm like, you could just tell by the expression on Rob's face, like, why is he coming to me to get off Parvati? Like, I could see if Adam wanted to get off another player that wasn't Ethan or Parvati, and somebody that wasn't in Rob's core alliance, to ask to come to Rob for that. But I'm like, oh my god, why would you go after the Rob father, or let alone somebody in his circle? So then the question comes up, should they blindside Adam? They want to blindside Adam because he's playing both sides. And I wouldn't say he's playing both sides. I just think he's trying to get the votes for the person he wants out. So I feel like him trying to go to Ethan and Rob, like, his intentions were to just get the numbers to get Parvati out, but his delivery just wasn't. He basically just shouldn't have told Rob and Ethan about that. And Michelle then tells everyone that Adam voted off Boston Rob. So then it looks like to everyone that Adam's a snake and is playing both sides. So at Tribal Council, they talked about how there was moments of silence at camp, and when people have plans in place, like, that might be good for one person, and some people might go along with it, but then there's always going to be somebody that says, I don't want to go that direct. I don't want to go to that direction. I don't want to vote that person out. And it basically comes to the underlying thing, like, you can't trust anybody in the game. Like, you can have the closest alliance member, but you can't put all your trust in that one person. And I was blindsided by who got voted off tonight. I thought for sure it was going to be Adam, and it was Ethan that got sent home. So, wow. With Ethan's story, I wouldn't want to go with him to the end because he can give a really good story to Final Tribal. But I really did want to see Ethan go farther, but at the same time, Adam's my favorite Survivor winner. So I was, like, sitting on the edge of my seat, like, shaking out wanting Adam to go home. So I'm glad Adam gets to stay, but it looks like next week that he's in trouble and they're going to try to get him off. So I'm hoping Adam can last another week. So I hope you guys enjoyed tonight's Survivor. I hope you guys enjoyed my recap. If you guys want to check out Survivor, it is on Wednesdays, 8 p.m. on CBS. Until next time, stay regal.